You were sitting on the bed feeling sad. Then suddenly your husband came out from the washroom after dressing up as he had to go to office. Jimin, when? He didn't respond. He looked at you before walking towards you. When? He said while looking at you, but you turned your face to the other side. Will you tell me where is my tie? He asked even though he knows you are mad at him, and you rolled your eyes before getting up from the bed. He took his tie and put it on the bed and was about to go from there, but he held your wrist and said, "Won't you make my tie?" He asked, but you jerked his hand away from yours and went from there. He signed the way you were behaving, and to be honest, he doesn't like the way you are treating him. It all started 2 days ago when you both had an argument, and he knows unknowingly his words hurt you. In fact, she didn't show up, but he can feel the pain inside her. When he said, "I don't love you," in anger, his intention wasn't to hurt you, and since that day you were behaving like this. "Juan, where's my breakfast? I'm getting late." "Juan." He again called you and you came out from the kitchen and placed his breakfast on the table and went from there without serving him. "Won't you eat?" he asked, but you left from there without answering. He looked at the food and he was feeling very guilty for his mistake. He got up without having his breakfast as he doesn't feel like eating. He went to you and asked, Did you see my watch?" He asked while holding your hand and tried to convince you, but you took your hand back and went in the room and came after a minute with his watch and put it on the table and turned to leave. He took the watch as he didn't expect this from you. He held your wrist tightly and pulled you towards him and placed a kiss on your forehead and said, "I'm going to the office. I miss you," he said, and left, leaving you all shocked as it was all unexpected for you. This is the first time he kissed you after the marriage. You put your hand on your forehead where he kissed you. You're feeling butterflies in your stomach, but still you won't forgive him. Jimin was sitting in his cabin as he wasn't able to concentrate on his work just because he was thinking about his wife. He knows you won't forgive him easily because he know you aren't mature enough to understand the relationship between husband and wife, and it's all because you are too young for him. Yes, he is a mafia king and he married a young girl, but as his beloved wife, he cares for you in every possible way. He put his hand on his chest where he got a tattoo of your name and said to himself, "I'm sorry, love, for those words. I love you," he said while recalling the image of yours in his mind and smiling while closing his eyes. After a moment, he thought to call you. He took his phone and called you, but you didn't pick up. "God, this girl," he said, being frustrated by your behavior. He came back home before the time as his mind wasn't working, as it was stuck in you. First time he came to his room just to see you, where you were sleeping on the bed peacefully. He went near you and sat beside his sleeping figure and started caressing your hair. "When will you forgive me? I miss your talks when you started talking like before," he said while caressing your cheeks, and he looked at your face, smiled how cute you were looking while sleeping like a baby. He chuckled because it's not for the first time, even though whenever he looked at you, you turned a little in your sleep as he got the clear view of your beautiful face. His eyes went to your lips and he bit his lips, having the craving for you in his body. He was about to move closer to your face but stopped as you opened your eyes and saw him near you. You got up and went inside the washroom as you don't want to face him. "Juan, do you want to go outside for dinner?" he asked and hoped you were answering, but still not. And you swiftly went to the kitchen and started the preparation for the dinner, and he got his answer. He was not angry because now this is too much for him. He knows you are stubborn. Baby, I'm starving. He said, and he rolled your eyes before placing the food on the table and sat on the chair. He was waiting for you to serve, but like always, you won't serve him. He smiled, feeling sad, and started to serve himself and started to eat with you. He looked at you while having dinner, and you feeling nervous. The way he gazed was stuck on you. He lifted his hand and you stopped eating, looked at him for what he was doing. But his actions made you all red when suddenly he wiped out the remaining sauce from your lips with his thumb and licked it. He looked at him and gulped. Why he's behaving like this? You got up from the chair and tried to avoid this awkward situation. Cause yes, you like him, but when you remember those words, you feel sad. You were about to go from there, but before he held your wrist and said, why are you doing this? He said, but you didn't say anything. Then suddenly he pulled you on his lap. You got shocked by his actions. You fall on his lap, and before you could get up, he locked you with his arms around your waist. You looked at him with wide eyes. You tried to get up, but there was no use. Why are you ignoring me? He asked, and you rolled your eyes. Love. He called you with a sweet name for the first time, but you frowned your brows. What happened, huh? He said and suddenly pulled you closer. You put your hands on his chest and feel nervous because today he's getting too crazy.
Back to you. I'm lost again.
He rubbed his face on your neck, then finally decided to speak. Jimin, what are you doing? Nervous. I'm sorry, love. He said, and you chuckled sadly, and he looked at you being confused. Why are you laughing? I'm sorry, love. Seriously. He said, and you looked at him before speaking. Today you are calling me love, and on the other side you say you don't love me. Yes, I said, but that was all true. You don't love me, huh? Then why did you marry me? You said, and tears formed in your eyes, and you lightly hit his chest, being angry. I didn't mean that. Then what do you mean, huh? Crying. Leave me if you don't love me. Love. He said and tightened his grip around your waist. Don't need to pretend, and don't call me with that. You said and tried to control your emotions. First look at me. I said look at me, love. He said, but you didn't respond. Then suddenly he held your chin and lifted your face before placing her on your eyes got wide after what he did, and you also can't resist yourself, and because you love him since you became his wife. He smiled, but from inside there is something which is bothering him, and that's because he can't confess his feeling for you. I love you. I don't believe you. Then suddenly he started to open his shirt buttons, and you got confused and feeling nervous at the same time. But suddenly something catch your eyes. He looked at his chest from up to down, and there was something that catch your eyes. You looked there and gulped after what he showed you. There was a tattoo of your name on his chest. You put your hand on a tattoo while your whole body was shivering. Now do you believe me? I love you. He said, and you looked into his eyes. This is proof that you want. When did I ask for proof? But still you won't trust me either. If you really love me, then why did you say those words? I didn't say it intentionally. There was a reason. He said, and he looked at him in confusion. What do you mean? you asked, and he took a long breath before speaking. Well, everyone knows you are too young to be a wife, and I didn't want to give you some kind of pressure, and nor do I want to disturb you with your studies. I saw you starting to fall in love with me, but I don't want to ruin you at this young age. I want to give you time. It's true I love you from earlier, but I can't start my relationship as a husband and wife until your graduation. I care for you. I'm sorry, love, if my words hurt you. I'm sorry. I didn't know you did all this just because of me. I thought you seriously don't love me. Yes, I love you, but please never leave me. You still started crying like a child. He looked at you and laughed and said, "Why are you crying now? You know you look more cute when you cry," he said while holding both your cheeks, and you also laughed. You hugged him and said, Can I ask you something? He nodded and you said, When did you tattoo my name on your chest? It's when we got married. You didn't even know about that, but I fell for you at first sight. You smiled a little and he also smiled while looking at your cute face. The end.